Good evening, good afternoon, or whatever, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Our Bill Crane reports on the air, and we'll get the team back together. Dwayne Weiss, Chris Gleason, and yours truly, ready to do battle today.
Yep. Well, it's good to be back.
And it's great to see you back, old-timer.
It's been 6 months. Huh?
Great to see you back.
I'd thank everybody. My wife's got cancer. She has lymphoma. And I'd like to thank everybody that was the cards, the letters, the phone calls, the hams, the gifts that were left in the car because she's isolated.
Yeah.
And I'd go out to the garage, and there in the back of her car would be flowers. One day it was a ham.
Wow.
One day it was a chicken. All cooked, ready to go.
Oh, nice.
That's right.
It's very heartwarming that people think about you and to really do something. I want to thank everybody that did something. And she's got a lot of thank you notes to write.
Keep her busy for a while.
And I'm not going to help.
Well, she's doing well.
She is doing well. We'll know the 5th of August. She goes through another PET scan. And then the 9th, we see the oncologist again. But the last PET scan was good, so we're hoping that this one's going to be good too. And if that one turns out good, then we don't have to do anything for 3 months.
Great. I'll tell you, that young lady has got a lot of spirit.
Yep.
Boy, she's after it. You know, she's very positive in her outlook. And boy, I'll tell you, it'd be great. You know, I know you got an awful lot of folks on your side thinking about you, praying for you.
At Tufts, they called her the Hat Lady.
Right.
Because every time she go for chemo, it was a 5-day stay in the hospital. So she uses her 5 days. She knits. So she knit chemo hats.
Oh, funny.
She's got piles of them. There's a social worker there. She's been giving them to them. They're going to distribute them out to the other cancer patients at Tufts.
That's great.
How wonderful.
That's great. Well, let's keep the good thoughts, folks. And by the way, we got a couple of personal notes, I guess.
Go ahead.
Get out of the way. First of all, congratulations to Paul Murphy, Lieutenant Paul Murphy on the Norfolk Police Department. Paul's retiring after a long and glorious career Paul's a great guy, known him all my life, comes from a wonderful family, and we got to wish him all the best in retirement. And good news, Bobby Shannon has been promoted to lieutenant.
Another good man.
Yep. And Bobby is a first-class cop and is going to do a great job. And so congratulations to both of them.
Good. Congratulations.
So, moving right along, we have a mini summit to discuss.
Yes.
President Trump has gone to
Helsinki.
meet with
Mr. Putin.
Mr. Putin, and I don't think much has come out yet. I mean, some vague words have come out, and that's good.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they should be blabbing what they talked about.
No, me neither.
I mean, because the American press
oh yeah,
tells us, all the questions and badgering and everything. Look, these guys have been talking about sensitive things. Mm-hmm. You don't go on television afterwards and say, well, Putin said this, and I said this, and I mean, give me a break.
Did you watch the press conference, the Post this morning?
No.
It was pretty funny.
Really?
Putin has got this motor mouth. Of course, it's the interpreter you hear.
Yeah.
On and on and on and on and on. Just like, remember, Castro used to do that for hours. And Trump is standing there next to him. Every once in a while, Putin takes his, turns to the next page. And Trump's going like, how many pages you got there? I thought the same thing. Will this guy ever, wind it up?
He says his mind. He speaks his mind.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So I think that they're talking.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great thing.
Yes.
Just like talking to North Korea.
Yeah.
A great thing. Don't know what's going to come of it, but I know what would have come of it if no one spoke.
That's right.
Nothing would have come.
Absolutely. It just got
So,
worse.
Tell me something, Dwayne. On a scale of A to F, how would you rate President Trump's performance so far?
C.
C.
I think there's some things that are positive and some things that are ridiculous, but they're not as ridiculous as the press makes it seem to be.
Yeah.
He could do no wrong, or he could do no right, according to the press. It doesn't matter what it was.
Yeah.
He couldn't do anything right.
I think on accomplishments, I'll give him like an A minus. I mean, he has gone down the list of all his campaign promises.
He did what he said he was going to do.
He's done.
That's a rarity.
Yeah, right. But now, he's still been stonewalled by the Congress over the wall.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. But I'm going to give him about a B plus.
Okay.
Demeanor, I think, knocks his score down.
Exactly.
But by the same token, the demeanor of Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi is off the scale.
Oh, yeah. Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, boy, I'm telling you. North Korea. You shed any light on North Korea?
Well, they're an enigma. Total enigma. They don't have anything, but they spend like a wealthy nation, and they spend it on things like rockets and bombs and military. They're military for show. I've never seen a military that was so disciplined and so right out there. You ever watch them march?
Yeah, the Nazi goose step. Yeah.
And there's never anybody out of step or anything. Or these massive Nazi-type rallies they have with what they call flip cards or something.
Yeah.
And they're perfect, just absolutely perfect. But in the meantime, you get 20 miles, I guess, out of the capital, and don't have anything to eat.
Starving.
Yeah. You have to be in the favor to live in the capital, too, I understand. You can't just, well, I'm going to move there. Like the hell you are.
Yeah, guess again.
Yeah.
Go out to the boondocks and try to grind something out of the ground.
I think they're paranoid, I guess is a word.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the entire populace has been lied to.
Brainwashed.
Brainwashed,
Not just
sure.
lied to. They are absolutely brainwashed.
Yeah.
There's a series, and I don't remember. I should remember this too because I watched them all. It's on one of the cable channels. It's not one of the major. It's not Discover. It's one of the. They have a whole series inside North Korea, and it's really good. This woman, she looks Korean, but she's a U.S. citizen, and she has been to North Korea a lot of times, and she's risking her life because she's taken a lot of surreptitious film, I guess, with her cell phone and stuff.
Wow.
If they catch her, I don't think she's going back now that the stuff's on TV. But if they catch her, she's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chappaquiddick. You managed to skip over Chappaquiddick when it was being talked about here recently.
You did cap Chappaquiddick. Oh, yeah, one of my favorite subjects. I think the voters in Massachusetts, particularly the Liberal Democrats, reached an absolute new low in exerting or in showing any form of intelligence with Chappaquiddick. How you could excuse those stupid excuses he made.
The behavior.
Yeah, the behaviors. And just
reprehensible.
Re-elect him.
Yeah. But yet, they still worship and dream about the days of Camelot.
Yeah, that's right. He should have been in prison. There's just no question about it.
Well, yeah. He left her there to die.
That's right.
What's interesting is they begrudgingly now admit that this was Teddy's fault.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, but it's very begrudging how they couch it.
Well, it's past history.
Yes,
What will it serve to bring it back up?
exactly.
So
exactly.
let's just let it go.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I have some interesting statistics. 16% of baby boomers, 1946 to 1964,
See me, but it's all right.
said they are confident of a comfortable retirement. And they have a median savings of $164,000.
Oh, okay. That's more than
I don't think that's going to last long. But Gen X, 65 to 78, has a median savings of $72,000. The millennials, 79 to 2000, have saved $19,000. How we've become
It's higher than I
a
thought it was gonna be.
nation of non-savers.
Oh, absolutely.
Hooray for us. You know, let's party and,
The younger generation live for the day.
yeah.
They just
But you
No.
also have to consider the salaries haven't gone up.
Well, I think it all depends on what you're looking at. Maybe the salaries of some people haven't gone up. But boy, I'll tell you, research scientists,
Well, the elite are making money hand over fist. There's no doubt about that.
average salary at Facebook is like $200,000.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the average person earns about 30,000, and then that's only the average.
Well, I think it's higher than that, but
What do you think? It's 50?
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it's around 54.
Yeah. 54, that's a number I heard too. But also, there's an awful lot of people in there that are at the bottom of the heap too that pull that number down. But you take a look at police and firemen. Now, for years, they haven't made that much money. Now, I don't think there's a policeman or a fireman making less than $100,000.
No, if you're a state policeman, it's $300,000.
Yeah. You know, we have to do a whole program on the state police.
When you get a situation like that, and you get an organization that becomes little kingdom unto themselves, that's what you get.
And when you are afraid to criticize them,
That's right.
it's like a secret police.
Yep.
How would you like it if, you give me any guff and I'll mention your name at the barracks. We'll see how long you keep your license, kind of stuff. That's bad stuff. That is really bad stuff. Here's a very sad statistic. Only 47% of the U.S. citizens say they're extremely proud to be an American. That's the lowest in 18 years.
Yep.
Among Democrats, the number was 32%.
That just doesn't surprise me.
No.
Look at the papers. They pound and pound and pound. We don't do this right. We don't do that right. Trump's this administration. They're doing this. They're separating kids. They're putting this person in slavery. They're doing this. They're doing that. Whatever it was. It's constant. So this kind of gets into people's mind.
Of course. Yeah. So Dr. Joseph Goebbels said, if I can tell people a story often enough and in the right way, I can make anybody believe anything.
Yep.
It's like the Chinese water torture. Drip, drip, drip. Now, whilst you've been gone, I switched allegiances and I went back to getting the Globe.
Yeah, I understand that.
On a daily basis, there's 9, 10, 11 negative articles about President Trump.
I used to count them. I quit counting them because it wasn't worth it anymore.
Yeah, you ran out of fingers and toes.
Right.
But, you know, in every one of them is the same damn thing.
Yeah, it's
Trump.
over and over. Yep.
Trump. Not President Trump.
No.
It's Trump.
And frequently they use the headline to influence the story. And oftentimes the headline doesn't have a damn thing to do with the story.
Two different writers.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody writes a body of it and somebody puts the banner on it. Well, I must share with you a very, very disturbing experience I had. I went to Franklin and went to the remodeled McDonald's.
Oh,
The bride wasn't around and I was
Which
hungry.
one is that?
It's around 140
Right by a Big Y there?
across from the big
across
wall.
from Big
Okay,
Y.
okay.
Yeah.
I've never been in that
Well,
one.
they've remodeled it.
Okay.
And now it's kiosks. So I went in. Now there's a fellow behind the counter, just like any other McDonald's. And he's got a cash register. So I went up to him and I said, give me a couple of sandwiches and a cup of coffee. He says, I don't take orders. I said, what do you do?
I give orders.
He says, if you pay cash, you come to me and I will handle the transaction. I said, what? He says, you have to go to a kiosk over there and punch in
no.
what you want.
No.
I said, you have got to be kidding me. He says, no. I said, I don't believe this. And this girl keeps chirping at me. Come over here, sir, and I'll help you. Come over here, sir, and I'll help you. I thought, for God's sake, she was a recording. I went over, and I said, I have to do this? Yes, you have to do it this way. I said, I don't like it. She said, I like it. I said, you don't count. I said, you're an employee. I'm the one spending the money, and I don't like it. She says, what would you like? Well, then she starts punching things in. And then I said, I don't want something on there. Then I'll have to start over again and hit customize. And on it goes. Finally, I said, you know what? I said, I've changed my mind. I said, I am not eating here. I said, and by the way, I said, you know, this is a dehumanizing experience. And I felt like saying to her, and you're about as charming as the recently embalmed.
That's unfortunate. That's not the place for that.
No, it's not.
What are they going to do when a woman walks in there with 6 kids?
Yeah.
And they all want something. I want this. No, I want this. I want this.
Well, that little girl out there at the kiosk, she's not going to be there all the time. You're going to have to figure that stuff
That's what
out
I mean.
yourself.
That mother is just going to go
Yeah.
crazy trying to put that stuff in there.
Welcome to the future.
Yeah.
You know, I had a blood test. I had a physical last week, and I had to go down to what is it, Quest downstairs. Well, you don't just sign in with a piece of paper anymore. They got like an iPad thing there, and you got to press. It took me 5 minutes. I get halfway through it and make a mistake. Oh hell! I got to start all over again.
I go over to see my doctor. I got to do the same bloody thing. This is not fun. And anyway, I don't know. In an Emerson College poll of Hispanic-speaking people, Hispanic heritage people, 62% say they're better off today than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And please note, Hispanic unemployment is at an all-time low. Maybe this breaks the hold the Democratic Party has on the Hispanics.
Would be a start.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting statistic here. All right. What cereals sales were up 20% in the last 12 months?
Oy. Cereals.
Yep.
I only eat 2 or 3, and I don't like the pre-sweetened all the kiddie stuff. I Raisin bran and shredded wheat and Cheerios. That's about it. So I had no idea.
Cheerios.
Lucky Charms.
Oh, God. That stuff is terrible.
Unbelievable.
It's like eating raw sugar right out of the bowl.
Who the heck is buying this?
Oh.
All right, next year, who will be the #1 producer of crude oil in the world? Who will pump more crude oil than any other country?
U.S.
That's right.
Yep.
Now, I got
But
one.
is that such a wise idea? Because if you go to war, you want to have all the oil right there in your own home. I would think it's better to buy it abroad and save your own reserves.
I think we did that.
I agree with you 100%. I always said when you have a finite resource,
That's right.
use somebody else's first.
Absolutely.
It's going to run out. You've got yours left.
And we did. We did for decades.
Yeah.
We brought in the oil from the Middle East.
Yep.
Yeah, and bought it for $4 or $5 a barrel.
Yeah.
way back when. But we've got tremendous reserves in this country now, and our strategic oil reserves are full.
Yep.
We don't have room to put any more.
So why did I wait in line during the Carter administration? They tell me that the world is going to run out of oil.
Because Democrats will tell you anything to upset you. I'm convinced of it. Now, you know why? Because they wanted to change to green power, wind power, solar power.
There was some international intrigue with some political things with the embargo. They weren't shipping, and you can't change that overnight.
No.
You know, we've always had the reserves that we got in the ground, but at that time we didn't have the technology to get some of them out.
Well, we need fracking. Yeah.
Yeah, or horizontal drilling or something, those kind of things.
Yeah. And we also had another ace in the hole, too. And it was proven here a month ago. Our best ally in the Middle East, other than Israel, is Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, yeah.
And when we say, would you turn the pumps on? They turn them on. And the price of oil goes down. They asked, President Trump asked the Saudis to turn the spigot on, and the Saudis always say, we'll look at evaluating that. We're always interested in making sure we have a proper balance. We'll study it. And then about 2 days later,
Cracking it open.
and the price of oil has gone from 73 down to 67 since the Saudis flooded the market. So, by the way, I want to congratulate Tim Phillips, chairman of Americans for Prosperity, for the stupidest suggestion of all times. He wants to give the trade negotiations to Congress.
Oh boy.
Can you just imagine the hearings?
Oh my God.
It would last for years. They wouldn't be able to do anything else.
No, I don't think they could get the men's room someplace in the White House painted.
Here's an interest. Well, no, we had a case where a lady was fired, and the reason given was she failed her drug test.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it revealed that she had taken marijuana. She said, I never smoked marijuana before I came to work, but we have so many employment contracts that prohibit drug use. Mm-hmm. Now, with marijuana legal in the state, are these requirements by employers going to become illegal?
That's a good question. When I saw that, I said, this is going to come up again. Because unlike, say, alcohol, which typically in your body, alcohol in 3 days, it's hardly detectable.
Right.
In 10 days, there's no trace of it whatsoever. Marijuana, for example, with a hair follicle, can go back 30 days. So if you went to a party and smoked a couple of hits, and 3 weeks later you had to take a drug test, well, it's going to show up, but there's no intoxicating effect anymore.
Right.
It's still there,
But
the drug test will come up positive. So I think we're going to have to change some of how we scale things and what we judge it to be.
so, if we do that, are policemen and firemen going to be included in this too?
Oh, I'm sure. So
They have much stricter code of ethics, if you will.
Yeah. We haven't caught up test-wise with the ability to what we need to be. And I think we will eventually, but the reason that we haven't is when a drug is declared illegal federally, by law, the research labs cannot work on it. They can't do anything with it, regardless of the potential it have or the danger. They can't touch it. It's an antiquated law, but it's the way it is. So there's not been any research really done with marijuana or cannabis.
Do you think it's possible that now that it's legalized, they will do some of this research and find out that it's 10 times more toxic to smoke than tobacco?
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I know it's not good to smoke because it's got a lot more, whatever, all the carcinogens and stuff in it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, it's with marijuana as opposed to tobacco. A smoker probably smokes a pack and a half of cigarettes a day. A marijuana user maybe a half of one a week sometimes, or even not even that. Some maybe 1 or 2 a day, but nobody goes 20 of them a day.
No. I think there's quite a few people though that do one a day.
Oh yeah. There's some people that do it every day.
As I have friends of mine that I like one up after supper and ease into the night or something.
Well, I don't doubt that gram for gram, it's probably more toxic.
I think so. Yeah.
Neither one of them are a buy. I'll tell you that.
We're having a battle in the Supreme Court
Interesting.
with Brett Kavanaugh. It was interesting, WBZ radio, which I'm not sure whether it's a change in their political beliefs or whether they're just getting careless. Mm-hmm. But they are scaling back on the help. They're laying off a lot of experienced help. Yeah.
Okay.
News radio.
Yeah.
And they've got editors now that are not doing a great job editing the copy for the talking heads to talk about. But one of, they had a lead snippet from WBZ Radio, headlines on the hour. Brett Kavanaugh preparing for the fight for his confirmation. Fight.
Everybody prepares for a fight for confirmation, but
not
hearing.
Not hearings.
Oh yeah, that's semantics again. They constantly do that.
But it was any way they can put the spin on it to give him, well, not a polished look, but he's rolling up his sleeves. He's gonna fight now, and it's the King's English. We've gotten away from it. We don't really care about how we express
even
ourselves.
Visual they're using. Yeah. When Trump was meeting with Kim Jong, Globe ran a picture, the two of them together. Now Kim Jong-un is not a big guy. He's a twerp. As far as being little. The picture he was 4 inches taller than Trump was. And Trump's what, 6'6"?
And I know
6'5"?
only 6'3" anyway.
Yeah.
Now,
But almost up here.
I'll
And
be
Trump was
willing to
down
bet
here.
you that was not a picture, but that was a composite.
Oh, of course
that,
it was.
That somebody, worked up. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't want to get into that. According to Pew Research, now Pew is probably the best
Yeah.
as far as research is concerned. Only 9% of the people contacted would agree to be polled, to be interviewed. 9%. So that's how narrow the polls are getting now, that they're not getting a broad spectrum at all.
Yeah, but I heard that that's not unusual. Like when you do cold call sales, don't you get just a very small percentage of
course.
people who buy?
Of course.
And then when you send out surveys, very few surveys come back. So I don't know if that's really that extreme.
Well, but what it does, though, is it speaks to the fact that we don't have a broad-based group of people responding any longer.
So the statistics are not correct.
Correct.
You're right.
And that's been proven in a couple of elections recently. By the by, that's argumentative. We'll leave that alone. I have been bombarded with Kingston for Senate. I get these things on a weekly basis. However, my promise to Massachusetts, this is not a paid ad, by the way, folks, it's just an observation. Secure our borders, end sanctuary cities. Reform and simplify our tax code. Put term limits on Congress.
Tell that to Marty Meehan.
Lower taxes for you and your family. Secure borders.
I kiss babies and love apple pie too.
That's right. And buy Chevrolet.
Yeah,
So.
but you know, he's saying all the right things.
Bad.
I mean, who the devil would vote against this stuff?
Right.
Yep.
Wow. Anyway, all right, I'm going to ask you a question. Over one half of German school children do not know that the Third Reich, Nazi Germany, was a dictatorship. Perhaps worse, the majority of German students do not know that East Germany, still around as late as 1990, was communist.
That's right.
What are they teaching the kids in Germany?
Not that.
Nothing.
Nothing. That's just, it's
Well, I'm sure the Americans did much better. Let's see here.
I wouldn't bet on it.
What percentage of American students fail to identify which war the U.S. fought Hitler in?
I think I saw that study.
72%.
Yep.
But I like this one even better. When given a choice between France, Germany, North Korea, and the USSR, 79% of students could not identify the USSR as the leading communist nation in the Cold War.
Yeah.
Christine, what are your brethren doing?
We are told Massachusetts puts out a curriculum and you have to follow the curriculum that they hand you. You don't get a choice of what you teach.
It's true. You're
My-
right. They do.
And then they buy the books and you have to use the books they give you.
This is why I never became a teacher, I guess.
I'm one of the same studies. I don't remember the percentages, but a huge percentage of them thought Judge Judy was on the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We have, the numbers are every place. 2 million addicts in this country that are hooked on oxy, codeine kind of stuff, tablets. Now they're saying everybody should carry Narcan.
That's
Okay.
We're trading in our Band-Aids for that, huh?
So, let me ask you a question. When an addict ODs and is Narcaned by Joe Public, but dies anyway, and is sued by the family, who will defend him? Who will pay his lawyer's bills? And who will support his family when he loses his fight and has to pay some kind of a huge...
Don't they have a Good
Lawsuit.
Samaritan law?
You know what? You do.
Yeah, but that's for the applicator.
Yeah.
That's for the what?
The operator that's giving the Narcan, not the Narcan. They're turning around suing the Narcan manufacturers
Well,
and the medical facilities.
there is a Good Samaritan law, yes, that do no harm. You know, and as long as you're trying to help, you're sacrosanct. You know, you can't be. However, all you need is somebody to say he didn't do the Narcanning right. My son shouldn't have died.
Yeah.
Then they sue you. All right. Now, whether or not it gets thrown out of court, it's moot point. You have to pay to defend yourself.
Oh, that's why.
And if that goes 3 years and you're out $400,000 defending yourself,
That's why you got all these outhouse lawyers chasing after all these anything, because they know damn well that only about 10% of them are going to go to court.
Yeah.
Because it costs more to go to court and defend than just make a settlement.
you know, Great Britain might have the right idea.
Oh, I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I do too.
You bring a specious lawsuit and you lose, you pay.
You pay. Yep.
Loser pays.
They also use many times professional jurors.
Yeah. Do you know what bothers me a great deal? We have this influx of migrants coming up through Mexico to the U.S., flooding across our border illegally. So people say, why don't we, and good-hearted people say, why don't we send money to these poor countries, help these people get on their feet down there and live happily in their native country? And what really bugs me is, because the money never gets to the people,
Right.
corrupt dictatorships grab it. We send goods down there. It's sold on the black market by the same
exactly.
people.
Or
The
what-
poor people. Haiti is the poorest country
Yep.
in the Western Hemisphere. We send money down there, and the people never get a sniff
It's
of
like
it.
it's going through water through a sieve.
Yep.
Yeah, just-
Absolutely incredible. So you say to yourself, I won't donate to these things anymore. And then they say, look at the starving children. And
Don't forget that we tried something like that years ago already. When we started establishing General Motors assembly plants in Mexico, different manufacturing things in Mexico, was the idea. We'll give them good paying jobs. They'll establish their own middle class here. Problem solved. It didn't work.
Why?
Well, first of all, it wasn't all Mexicans. There was the Hondurans and Ecuadorians and
Costa Ricans,
coming
and I
through.
mean, yeah.
and number two, it just
Do you know that it's not really the Mexicans coming across the border that's a big problem now? It's the Central Americans.
that's right.
I don't know. I just don't understand how we can possibly survive much longer without a border. I mean, There are people standing in line to come in that have been standing in line for 7, 10, 12 years that are doing it the right way. And everybody is jumping over them and jumping in illegally. And then it's, oh, you can't separate the families. And there is more bloody technicalities on this. Jeepers creepers.
It's just like, again, it's spinning everything. Only a certain percentage of the kids now have been reunited. Well, the ones that haven't been reunited, they can't find the parents. The parents, there's no parents involved. They might be human traffickers that they hook up with. You want to send the kids back to somebody like that, who's going to throw them into probably sexual slavery someplace?
That's the problem.
But the press don't give you that.
No. My son's a bill collector. 2 of my boys are bill collectors. Patrick, as you know Patrick.
Yeah,
He told me, he said, if I broach the subject once, I do it 20 times a week. He'll have a kid, young man, young lady, and he'll say, look, you owe $635. You went to the hospital, you had this procedure done, you agreed to it, you owe the bloody money. Why don't you do the right thing and give me a credit card? I don't have a credit card. Well, how about your dad's credit card? And that usually does work. But in conversations with these young people, they don't know how to get a credit card. No one has ever explained to them, they were never taught in school about credit, about credit cards, about your credit score, personal finance, your budget. None of them understand this at all. And he said, and I talked to him, Dad. He said, they're not funding me. It's the truth.
Okay, I've got 2 things to say about that.
Yes.
Why do they expect the school to do all the education? What happened to the parents educating their kids? That's number 1. Number 2, I can't believe that they don't know how to get a credit card. I'm inundated with people trying to get me to use their credit card. Everybody sends cards. They send you a card, all you have to do is sign it. So how can you say they don't know how to get credit cards? They may not know the correct way.
They don't know the correct way.
But they certainly can get a credit card.
Well, you say that. That's not true.
It used to be. It used to be you open the mail.
That's right. They'd send you the bloody credit card. Yeah. No.
That's against the law now.
Now my kids, when they first went off on their own, I'm going to go get a credit card. Ain't going to happen. They both went through the same thing. You've got to join the credit union. That was the easiest way to do it. Deposit $500, and they give you a credit card with a $500 credit line. After you've bought things and paid them, and bought things and paid them, and bought things and paid them, all of a sudden, now you can get a legitimate credit card when you have demonstrated
you have to establish your credit.
Yes, that you're fiscally sound.
So, I mean, you could have a lot of money and not be able to buy something in credit because you've never owed any money. You never established the credit.
Yeah. What? Anyway, he someday you ought to get him going, Dwayne, on his excuses that he hears on the phone.
We've talked a little bit about it.
They expect that they're not going to have to pay. They expect that the hospital is going to pay. They don't think they have to.
Yeah, you're right. And they don't understand insurance. They don't understand deductibles. They don't understand co-pays.
So their parents should be teaching them.
The parents don't.
Well,
because they're working 2 jobs. He's working, she's working.
Come on.
And the kids are sent to school, and the school's job is to raise the kids.
I know some parents that are worse than the kids.
Yeah.
Who mismanage the money and finances.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, what is the average monthly car payment in this country?
It's scary. I don't know, but I just did see something. But
$522 a month.
yeah, that's for a car payment.
Yeah, I think that's a little heavy.
Yep.
For the first time in 8 years, food stamps being used by family has dropped below 20 million. Gee, Trump's economy, that's not having any effect at all, right? Yep. Yeah, as people go back to work.
But also, I think they're being stricter on who they give food stamps to, because there's been a lot of news about corruption.
Well, my boys have friends that have been on food stamps, and they called up and said, "Well, I got a job now. Cancel the food stamps." Oh, you don't have to do that. You can stay on food stamps. No! Listen, what if you get laid off 3 months from now? Stay on longer. But I don't want to do it. I'm working. No, no. Stay right on.
Because they don't want to have to go through the procedure of taking them off and then go through the procedure of putting them back on again.
There's still
It makes it life
There's still a
easier
lot of
for
fraud in food stamps.
Oh, there is. Huge amounts.
I had 2 ladies at BJ's one day, really irritating me because they were just fooling around. One is selling, the other is the food stamp. They were from Rhode Island. She said, "Well, here, I got $300 on food stamp. Give me $100 for these." All right? And they're making deals there. You're not supposed to be doing that.
I know. It's incredible.
Dude, go to Walpole, go down the center, there's a smoke shop on the right-hand side when you go. Great big sign, EBT cards accepted. For what? Cigars?
Probably. Unbelievable. You know, what's really bothering me is more and more newspaper articles about elder abuse. A caregiver accused of abusing an 85-year-old woman who later died was arraigned in court, causing her serious bodily injury, abuse of an elder person. Unbelievable. And it goes to list all the terrible things that he did to her, hasten her death. And here's one. A Randolph man allegedly tried to take money out of his grandmother's bank account. Got the grandmother to go to the bank. This woman, 81 years old, he drove her to the bank and tried to get her to take her savings out and give it to him.
There's so many. Speaking of scam, but just quick. If you get a call from Comcast, it's not Comcast.
Right.
It comes out as Comcast on the top, and what they want you to do is to reboot your computer now, because it's something to do with hacking and malware and all other stuff. We called we kept getting Comcast. So finally answered it, and Monica did. She said, "I'm not going to reboot. First of all, I don't have a notebook or whatever it is." "Oh, yes, you do." "No, I don't. I know what I got and what I haven't got." "Well, go reboot it." "No." So I got done. I said, "Well, I'll call Comcast." Comcast says, "We don't call people to do that. It's a scam. They want you. They'll know that you are now, or they've got you on the phone. And by the way, they're in India."
Of course.
You can hear them in the background. It's like this boiler room. It's all voices in the back. And they know you're on the phone. They know your line is open. And they got direct access into your computer.
You know, I get the same thing now. I haven't got that one. This is the Microsoft Store.
Oh, geez. License?
And we see suspicious activity
Oh, okay, yeah.
on your computer. it is very dangerous for you to do any financial transactions until you have us fix it for you.
Comcast, what line is somebody's downloading porn in your name from on your computer through Comcast? That's how they. Of course, some of these old ladies go, "Well, I don't know."
So I say to them, I said, so you are a Microsoft employee. I work for Microsoft store. I said, where is the store located? Oh, that's not important. What is important, we must fix your computer now. I said, whereabouts in India are you calling me from?
Yeah, I do that too.
Click.
Yeah. Ours always was, your Microsoft license is about to expire.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy, I'm telling you, huh? Hey, they found a Air Force deserter after 35
after
years.
Years and years. I thought he was home free.
What?
Okay, Bill, 5.
Now, what do you think they ought to do about this?
5. I don't.
I can't imagine why they would spend all that money and time searching for a deserter. For 35 years, give me a break.
Well, he had been involved in classified planning
I was just going to say
and analysis of NATO's command and communication surveillance during this Cold War. And I would suspect that he sold information.
Exactly. I suspect if he was a old term dog face, he got tired of doing KP for 2 years at a time and he ran away. After 30 years, they're not going to bother looking for him.
But this guy was an officer.
Yeah.
He's facing 5 years imprisonment, forfeiture of all pay, and dishonorable discharge. I think if there's a suspicion that he sold this information, throw him in the can for 5 years.
And you sign, I've signed so many of those non-disclosure agreements, and there's no time limit on them. They'll tell you right there when you sign it that you will never discuss this with anybody. You say, well, what about 70 years from now? Too bad, still the same as it tomorrow. They do not expire.
Yeah, when I was interviewed for a position in the Army, they said, now there's a 1010 provision. And I said, what's that? You cannot speak about this for 10 years after your discharge, or it is 10 years in Leavenworth. And we can court-martial you after you've been discharged.
Oh, yeah, they'll bring you right back in the service.
Bring you back right in. Yep.
They got you again.
Yeah. And that's proper in my estimation. Hey, by the way, here's a sad story from Salem, Mass. A former municipal official is going to have to serve time. He was pleaded guilty to destroying public records and rigging bids for municipal contracts. He has violated his probation 200 times. And
must have been an
they
accident.
finally, he never got to do any time. He went right on probation. Now he's been sentenced to 2.5 years in the House of Correction with 18 to be served. 18 months to be served. Unbelievable.
It's our whole judicial system, particularly in this state. It's not just us, but we are one of the prime offenders. We don't have a appetite for punishment. We forgive, we forgive, we forgive. We put it away, put it away, put it away. We don't have the wherewithal to actually punish people.
You know, you're absolutely right. Well, you know, there's something in here. I got the 17-year-old kid they arrested with a loaded pistol. He was a gang member.
Yeah.
Well, he goes to juvie court. rather than adult court. But yet, if he pulls the trigger, that person is just as dead as if an adult shot him. We have this idea that we can't punish these kids.
That's right.
And they're out there doing all kinds of crime, and they know it.
Yep, they do it.
I think they should lower the age of what they consider a child, because they do go to juvenile court because they think that they're not old enough or experienced enough to know right from wrong, supposedly. But 17-year-olds today, they know.
When they're fathering children, they're old enough. I got one more here for you. In Moundsville, West Virginia, a West Virginia man is in custody after putting his 2 children in a dryer,
Oh, yeah. So.
taking pictures of them. And he did it to his son, put him in the dryer because he was trying to teach him not to be scared.
That works.
And he actually started the thing
going,
spinning.
yeah.
Now, let me tell you, if they don't give him about 45 years in the can over that, I mean, what the heck kind of a country of half-wits have we become?
Yeah, they're worse than half. They're no wits.
No wits is right. Man. Well, you know what? We've gone and we haven't touched on a really serious subject the whole
Yeah.
time.
Next time we'll.
Next time, I am not going to have any of these. It's going to all be serious stuff.
Okay. That's easy to put an hour together. That.
Yeah.
Once
you
you get
know
rolling.
what? If I go to the back here, I get all serious stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So, on that note, folks, hope you had a wonderful time visiting with the full complement here. And look forward to our next show when we'll do our best to embarrass ourselves. We'll do our best to bring you the news. Apple pie order.
True or not?
True. Very good. All right, folks. Good night.
Bye bye.